What happens when a Prime Minister clashes with one of the country's biggest newspapers? A headline war, and it's all tied to the explosive Paraka payment scandal. This week, the Post-Courier issued a public clarification and a sort of apology, but not without defending their reporting. So, was it fake news or just court facts being twisted? Let's unpack the latest bombshell, revisit the courtroom drama, and see what it all really means. On March 26, 2025, the Post-Courier ran a bold front-page headline, Paraka Payment Scam, with a subheading saying, Kua tells court Marape pressured finance officials to draw up payment. That story hit hard, and it hit political nerves. In response, Prime Minister James Marape blasted the article, calling it fake news and a total misrepresentation of what was actually said in court. He demanded a retraction and even threatened legal action if it didn't happen. So now, the Post-Courier has responded. They're standing by their story, but added a clarification. They say their report was not meant to defame anyone, and was based strictly on what was said under oath in court. They also say the term scam came directly from Kerenga Kua himself, the former Attorney-General, and the claim that Marape pressured finance staff. That too came from Kua during cross-examination, where he said, I can only repeat what I was told, former Minister for Finance, Honourable James Marape. So, to be clear, the paper says it didn't invent anything. It simply reported what was said in open court. Let's rewind for a second. This whole scandal goes back to payments made to Paul Paraka lawyers, totaling over 162 million kina. These payments were later ruled unauthorised and fraudulent, and Paraka was sentenced to 20 years in prison. During the trial of Jacob Yafai, a former Deputy Finance Secretary, Kua testified that there was immense political pressure to push through the payments. He claimed that pressure came from none other than then Finance Minister James Marape. He even wrote Marape a letter back in October 2012, warning him not to pay Paraka, but never got a response. Just weeks later, Marape allegedly issued a memo authorising payments. Marape, on the other hand, flatly denies all of it. He says he gave verbal instructions, equivalent to written orders, not to pay Paraka. He claims that both Stephen Gibson and Jacob Yafai ignored him, and that's why they were suspended. And importantly, he insists that he was the last finance minister who stopped all further payments. He even said he'd served as a state witness since 2013 and has no case against him. But here's where things get murky. Kua says he was told directly by the late doctor, Lawrence Kalino, the Justice Secretary, that political pressure from Marape was being placed on finance officials. So who's telling the truth? Kua says it was pressure. Marape says he tried to stop it. Now that the newspaper has walked the line between apology and defence, it raises a bigger question. Could Marape be recalled to testify again? And what about Peter O'Neill, whose name was also dropped in Kua's testimony? Are we just scratching the surface of what could be a deeper web? Let's not forget, this scandal has cost careers. Kua was sacked as Attorney-General back in 2014 after exposing the scandal. He claims he was removed because his decisions didn't sit well with then Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. Now he's back in court, putting everything on the record. And all of this is unfolding with a general election on the horizon. The stakes, reputation, political survival, and possibly the rule of law in Papua New Guinea. What do you think? Did the Post-Courier cross the line, or just report facts? Should Marape be called back to the witness stand? And does Kua's testimony weaken Marape's claims, or expose a bigger problem in government accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you found this breakdown helpful, like, subscribe, and share for more coverage on the court case that's shaking PNG politics. Thanks for watching. We'll keep bringing you updates as this case unfolds. Until next time, stay informed and stay sharp.